everybody. Welcome back to the Abundance Lifestyle Show with Becky Mulcahy. We're so glad you're with us again this week. We love doing these shows for you. Please say hi down below in the chat box if you like. Ask any questions or comments. We have super guest star Lany Sharp today is with us, and if you put your questions or comments down below, we might be able to answer them live during the show, or we'll also be checking it all week. You can watch her replay all week long until next Wednesday when we do our next live show, and we'll get back to you with any comments or questions that you care to ask. And Lany Sharp, she is known as the best hugger in the world. She hugs everybody. It's so nice. She's so friendly. Very successful. She knows about an abundance lifestyle, and she shares that with other people. She's all heart, and we want to learn from her today about her abundance mindset and how she keeps such a sweet, inclusive, supportive mindset in her abundance lifestyle. She's just one of the greatest people around that just is so supportive and awesome. So, Lany Sharp, welcome to the Abundance Lifestyle Show. We're so glad you're with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Becky. That was quite an introduction, and I really feel like you are just the same way. You are so sweet and want to help everybody, and what a wonderful show you have that we get to come on, and I am humbled that you've asked me to do that for you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I do love it. I really love it, and I think that, we need to share, the best people and the best mindsets out there and elevate everybody to be the best that they can be and how to do that. There's so many people that are just wonderful, and, there's a fair amount of negativity out there, and I want to try to counterbalance some of that with the positive and elevate people and empower them that they can do this. They can do this, and other people that are doing it are willing to share how they do it and why. So I want to know more about Lany Sharp. I don't know that much about your background yet. Where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like? Tell us about Lany.
Actually, I grew up in Montana, and to this day, no matter where I go, I left Montana about when I was 18 after I graduated from high school and went to a business school in Denver, Colorado.
Oh.
And I've never moved back to Montana after that. I did move back. My mom and dad moved to Idaho, and so we did go back there. But I've done all kinds of things. When the business school I went to, we had key punch machines. You remember those key punch cards that they use for wreaths and stars? And well, I used to do that. And so that was one of the things that I did. My dad always had horses, so we had horses. He was a fence contractor, and all during my high school years, I helped build fences. And one summer, we built 40 miles of fence.
Wow.
A lot of fence. And so it was a whole family thing. We just all went out and we did it, and we had a sheep wagon and a tent, a circus tent. And the kids, all of us kids, stayed in the circus tent and slept on boards and logs for headboards and things that we made ourselves, and that was our summer. And we'd go to dances, and it was fun. We had a great time.
Oh my God, that's so interesting. That's so fun. So how many kids were there?
There were 4 of us, 2 boys and 2 girls. And that was just, it was really fun. We had a good time, and Mom and Dad, we worked hard, but when we played hard too. So that was pretty exciting. And then while I was in Denver, that's when I met my husband, Tom. And then he went off to the service, and 2 years later we got married. And it was 2 dates, and he went home and told his sister that he was going to marry me.
Oh, sure enough.
47 years ago.
Oh
So
my.
We've been married almost 47 years. So that's been really fun and interesting all these years, you know. So we got started. Actually, I got started in network marketing when I was in Kansas because he's Kansas, and so we lived in Junction City for our first married years, had a baby there, and then we moved to Colorado. And I was in the Big A, and I've stayed in that business until actually this past year, really. And because I needed soap. It was actually till 2012. I was an Amway distributor until that time because I loved their soap. And can you imagine using SA8 for 45 years? That's what I did. Yes. And so when Youngevity came along, it was like, oh, they have soap. I really have to switch where I shop because that's one of your main things. If you're going to be in a business with a company, you need to use their product and you need to know what they have. And so that's one of the things that I always try to do. And I've been in 4 different network marketing companies, but always keep the Amway going. And so since 1972, and you know, we can say whatever we want about Amway and how maybe some people are just multimillionaires in that company. It didn't work for me, but I loved what they had. So I stayed with them. And I guess you might say I've been pretty loyal.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty loyal. That's a long time.
it really is. So when we got with Youngevity, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was switch from that soap to our Hydro Wash. And oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And it still does what the Amway soap did. I get to buy from myself. And it's easy. You know, it's so easy. I was also in a business with Barb and Dave Pitcock. And that's where I really started here really big in Kansas because all of the other things, I've been in about 4. All of the other things that I've been in, we just had products on the shelf and we were a warehouse. So we never really made money until we joined Barb and Dave Pitcock. And the training they gave us and the lifestyle, you know, we purchased our sales kit and the products, and in 1 month, we had doubled our income with that.
Wow. In Youngevity, you doubled it in 1 month?
No, in Lavinity, when we joined Barb and Dave.
So people who don't know who Barb and Dave are, tell people who Barb and Dave Pitcock are.
Barb and Dave Pitcock are entrepreneurs from the ages of 23 and 24. That was 20 years ago. And they were top producers in 2 different MLM companies. And the first company went away. The second company, they just decided that it didn't have what they wanted to offer new people because the new people couldn't get to where they were. And so they didn't like that. So they decided to go on their own and form their own company. So in 2006, Tom and I joined their company. And it was called Lavinity, and it was here in Russell, Kansas. And oh my goodness, like I said, we joined on August 1st in 2006. It started in about May. And we joined thinking that this one product was going to be the one thing that would really take us far. We sponsored one person. Then that was on the 22nd of August. And from the 22nd to the 31st, we had 7 more people join us.
Wow,
so
what a day.
Yeah, and it was the 31st. I sponsored 6 people on the 31st of August. So we had 2, and then the other 6 joined us. And they stopped me in the grocery store. Oh, we heard what you're doing. And I'm like, what am I doing? And
small town.
she always says on her training calls on Saturday that, ignorance on fire. And that's basically what we were. We just knew that this was something that we could do. And after we bought like what's called the CEO pack in Youngevity, and in Lavinity we bought that, and our money, it was like $400 at the time. By the end of August, we had $800 in our pocket.
Nice.
And that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And they have nothing like what Youngevity has. So it was really awesome when Dave Pitcock sat down with my husband and Tom and I, and he said, you guys are one of the leaders in our company, because we went to Double Diamond in their company.
Oh.
And he said, we know what's going on. And he said, we are looking at merging with Youngevity. And we're okay. And he said, have you ever heard of Dead Doctors Don't Lie? And I looked at him and I said, yes, I have a cassette tape. That in the days I was in Amway years and years ago, I have this cassette tape. And so when he said that, I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to be in business with that man. And so it was such an easy transformation for us and transition to go into longevity. And then yes, our checks went 3 to 4 times what we were making in Lavinity. And we got a car bonus the first month, because that's where we were in the business, and that's how many people we had to come along in our personals and everything, and it just fit. So it was really exciting, and wow, I mean, we had never made that kind of money before, ever in a network marketing company. And Tom really got into this one. He's never been involved with any of the other ones, not like this. But this one, he was amazing, and he gets it. So that's exciting.
There's so many things in there. We have like 26, 27 stores in our Youngevity mall now. So there's something that's going to appeal to everybody. So are you in the same town as Dave and Barb Pitcock?
No. We are about 110 miles from them.
Oh, so not bad. Not bad. So how long were you in Lavinity before they switched to Youngevity, and then you switched to Youngevity too?
They started with Youngevity in July of 2012. And so we've been in Youngevity since 2012, 2 years, 3 years almost.
And how long were you in Lavinity before that?
6 years.
Oh, wow. Long. Oh, really long. Oh. Yeah. So what is it, why did you do all these network marketing companies, Lany? What do you see in network marketing that appealed to you? What were you looking for?
I just love to be around positive people, because I believe that my mom and dad always were very positive with me, and brought me up that way. And so I don't know what it is, but my mom always said to me, she said, you were always running around trying to help people, even when I was just little.
Oh.
And I said, really?
What? That doesn't surprise me one bit, Lany. I'm not at all surprised.
But that's how I grew up, and I just love people. And so it was so funny, because I wasn't always like this. I mean, I've always been loving and caring like that, but not to where I can talk to people. This is a development. This comes with practice, and this comes with being exposed. I was at a big meeting when I joined Amway, and it was in Junction City, and the big diamond was there from Amway, and she came back and was doing a meeting, and my sponsor introduced me and told them that I was moving to Colorado. And she had me come up to speak. And I was like, oh my goodness.
What?
I can't do that. So I was scared to death. And it was funny because I used to make a lot of my clothes. So I had this suit on that I'd made myself, like just a little jacket and whatever. But I thought, oh my goodness, I'm up in front of all of these people with these nice clothes, and I've made picture suits, basically. So it was hilarious. But I did. I went up in front of them, and like I said, Amway gave me a start. They teach you how to dream. But see, what's so special about where we are right now in our life is that we were in school all that time, looking at all those different things and doing all those different companies. And we found a place where people actually love each other.
Yeah.
So many of those companies, you can never see the people at the top.
Yeah.
The scenes, they're behind the curtains, and they don't come out. But with this company, with Youngevity, that to me is abundance, because being with all these top people and being able to go up and hug them. I can remember the first day I met Bill Andreoli and Jason, the photographer, and Mike Randolph and Steve Schultz, and we were out in front of the hotel, and they were pulling up in the little thing to go to, in the shuttle, to go to dinner with Barb and Dave. And I was there, and Barb and Dave looked at me like, oh, don't do that right now. And I went over, and she said, that's the president of Youngevity, and I don't know if I really got it at that point, but I just went around and hugged them all.
Of course you did, and they loved it, I bet. Everyone does.
They still let me hug them, so I guess they did.
That's awesome, Lany, and I know just what you mean. I was only in one other network marketing company before this, and they literally roped off the people like they were all la-di-da, shuttle them out the side door. You couldn't really talk to them. I'm like, what's up with that? But I did notice that, the ones that had the biggest, most successful teams were the ones that were all, chanting and singing and stuff in the hotel lobbies together. They weren't the ones running out the side doors and stuff like, how they do the mentality of that. And that is one thing about Youngevity is, I've hugged Bill Andreoli myself. I mean, all of them. They're just so open. The first person I met was Todd Smith. And I didn't know who he really was. I didn't realize he was such a big dog, but him and his partner are the first black diamonds in Youngevity. And this was 2 years ago, but he just acted like, Joe next door neighbor. Just the nicest guy. Nicest guy. And 100% of these people are. They really want to help you. They're super friendly. Everything's open. It really makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does. When we went to our first function after the July thing, was actually a CEO school in Denver with Tom Schultz doing that, and so we got to meet them. He had been presented with the Porsche, he and Denise, and my mother actually got to sit in his Porsche and take a ride.
And it was a big deal to Tom.
It was a thrill to Tom, because when we met Tom in Kansas City at the convention where we worked with Youngevity, Tom sat down with my mom, and he actually had tears because if you look at his mother's picture, she looked like his mother and reminded him so much of that. And what an awesome thing for him to just feel that way. And then when she celebrated her 95th birthday, Tom and Denise Chenault drove to Oakley, Kansas from Longmont, Colorado to be with us on her birthday. That was awesome. That was
Isn't
awesome.
that amazing? I remember seeing those pictures of that and that he just loved her and I saw him hugging, and stuff in the, he puts everything on Facebook, so it's nice because you can see. And yes, he loved her and he was talking about, how much she reminded him of his mom. And that's so nice, isn't it? And Tom Chenault, for people who don't know, is a real big dog. He's in the top, what is he, in the top 10 marketers in the world. He's a gajillionaire. Just the nicest guy. He's also hugs everybody that comes near. So it's super nice.
And he is not just an ambassador, he's going for the elite ambassador, which I don't think he'll have very long before he will be recognized as elite. And as ambassador, they have to do 3 million a month in volume. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of where they are and how they can do that. And he is such a down-to-earth person. You talk about abundance. He has anything he ever wanted, but he's still out there helping people and talking to people about what life is all about and about how to help them.
Yeah, he is all about that. And the last training that I saw him talking about that on, he said him and Denise are at $6.5 million in volume a month now. 6.5 million. So he's probably not too far off of that mark, and you would never know it. He's just the nicest guy, and his wife Denise too. They just really try to help and support everyone, as everybody in Youngevity does, with all their trainings and encouragement.
Yes, and that's the other thing. You talk about training and encouragement, and if anybody really wanted to be in a business, there's none other than I would recommend this one, because everybody wants to lift you up. They don't care if you beat them in this business. They don't care if you are above them or below them. And if they pass you up, if it's some of your downline and they go to senior vice chairman, yay, that is really exciting. They go above you, who cares? It's just so exciting to see the way that people can develop in network marketing. That's one of the things I love about network marketing, is because of the training that we got. When we first joined Barb and Dave, we had to get on a program. They made us do a $39.95 program every month that was our training. And we would get a CD or 2 CDs and a book every single month. So I've got books all over this house that I read from, and every day. That's a regimen. That is something that they've taught us to do. And once you have that habit, you just want more. You want to hear more. You want to do more. You just want to be more. So I just think it's awesome. And the other thing is, there's so much. And we talk about abundance, and when I think about abundance, I think about the Bible. And I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm telling you what, the Bible is the book I read out of every single day. And people in this company are like that. And they are God-minded. I don't care what you say, they are God-minded people, and they love each other, and they share their hurts. And they're true. They don't lie about where they are, or they don't boast about being the big dog. They all edify each other. And when you have that,
really tell from that. Like, nobody's hoity, nobody's better than now. They don't, cloister themselves off, in the ivory tower, anything like that. Absolutely, everybody is just like right down helping everybody else, whether it's at the conventions or anything. And there is, I don't think people are offended, by the godly angle. Everybody's got their belief system, which is great. It's fine and dandy. We should also be the best people we can, of, whatever faith or whatever. But I think that, part of the purpose of life is to be the best person you can be. And I think network marketing is very facilitating that way, because rather than corporate America, where you're clawing up each other's backs, it is very much a network where whatever they do helps you and what you do helps them. and you're working together. And so there isn't the intimidation factor about, like you said, they want you to succeed. They want to help you succeed, and it helps each other. It's such a smart business model. Such a smart business model.
I can guarantee you, you will never find a company like Youngevity that has so many millionaires and so many leaders. I've never been involved in anything or heard of anything that is like this.
Mm-hmm.
You hear of people that they'll say, oh, you can make this and you can make that, and they talk about making $87,580 a month or whatever it is, and it comes right down to it. If you're not making that, how can you make that statement? You can show them that that's a possibility, but if you're telling them, yeah, let's go do this, we can make this and all that, you're not being real. This company is real. They say get to IMD, then go to the next rank and the next rank and the next rank. And they take you from one to the other. They don't put you down because you haven't reached that next level. They had Cheryl Morley, who is an ambassador now. She was one of the first distributors in this company, and she has just become ambassador. She always had the volume because she had enough people under her. She just didn't know how to get herself there. But she also took off 9 years to raise her children. And that's what we can do. We can have those dreams. We can do whatever we want to do. That's why I go to Colorado a lot and watch my grandchildren. I have 7 grandchildren. 3 are in Colorado and 6 are in Texas. Actually, that's 9. 7 are my real ones, and I have 2 that basically my son adopted and has taken in, and he's raising them. And it's so exciting to be with all these kids and be able to watch their games and give them time, because so many people at my age, they don't have the money and they don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an abundance.
Every age, I think that's everybody these days. Things are very challenging across a lot of spectrums now.
Well, and you're right. It isn't just our age. It is college students. I met one young man the other night, and he was at the he was sweeping at the pumps at the Sam's Club store where I was, and I was getting gas, and we started a conversation, and I said, so what are you doing? Why are you working here? And he said, well, I'm actually working 2 jobs. And that's what so many people are doing right now. He's a college-age kid, and he's working 2 jobs. And I said, why are you working 2 jobs? And he said, well, I was in college, and I went out of state to Nebraska to college, and I am in debt. I said, how are you in debt? He said, I have a student loan. I said, how much debt do you have? And he said, $1,000. And he's just started. And
yeah, that's like 1 year at a lot of colleges, 22 grand. It's horrible. I've heard the average age to pay off a student loan now is like 53 or 56 before you pay it off. How crazy is that?
Pay it off then, because sometimes people defer it and defer it and defer it, and it never gets paid off. Mm-hmm. So that is really a big thing. And we have the people and the resources in this company that I said, I know a very good friend of mine who lives here in Loveland, and he has a program called Cash for College. And would you be interested in getting in touch with him? And he said, yes, I would. I said, well, give me your name and give me your email address, a good email address, and a good telephone number where I can reach you. Can I text you on your phone? Yes. And he hugged me. Well, I hugged him because I asked him first. He said, oh, thank you so much. I really look forward to visiting with you. That's all it is. It's just helping people, but it's also finding out who these people are and what they want. It's called FORM. Have you ever heard of that? FORM is family, occupation, recreation, and the message, or the money. Because once you talk to them about those four things, when you get to the third thing, the recreation, then you'll know how much money they need to do what they really like to do. And that is the recreation. But who is their family? It's just called FORM, F-O-R-M, and it's so easy. Scott Fardulis was talking about that on one of our calls today, and it was just, that's all it is. It's finding out what that other person wants and what you can do to help them. Getting somebody else on the phone with you for your credibility to share with them what you have that can change their life totally. That's what abundance is. Helping those people to get to that next step, to know that there is hope out there and that their dreams can come true.
Well, and that's the thing of it, like Lany, like you feel really great because you can help this college kid, right? He's thrilled because he can get some help with this stuff that's overwhelming him. Maybe he doesn't have to work two jobs like that anymore. People have this misconception of, you know, the used car salesman or whatever, where you're like chasing people down and, you know, calling in the middle of the night, or I don't know. But it's really not like that. It's just sharing and helping people anyways. And like whether it's for, you know, financial stability or wealth increase or whatever, or if it's for health reasons, there's so much health issues nowadays that people need help with. When you can help them with something like that so easily and quickly, they're so grateful for it. And if you find something that works, either, you know, financially wise or health wise, you're going to tell your friends anyways. You're going to tell people anyways, wow, you should see this. I did this. It worked like this. It was the greatest. You're going to tell them. So why not share it? And you have a piece of it back. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we do anyways. So it's been quite the educational process, because at first I was like, no, I don't want to do that either, because I didn't want to go hound people, or I didn't think I was in sales or whatever. It's really not like that, is it? It's just like what you did.
It isn't like that. It isn't like that. When people think that they're going to scare their friends off or whatever, how can you do that when you have a hold of something so special,
yeah,
that you want to share with them?
That they're looking for.
You're not selling. You are sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing that because you believe in it. Mm-hmm. It's like you said, if you go to a movie, you're going to recommend that movie if you liked it. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to pay you. The theater won't pay you. Mm-hmm. We are all so programmed. They keep programming these kids to go to a 4-year college, and I'm not knocking college, but go to a 4-year college, get in debt, that education, and come out and not have a job, because most of them can't find a job for what they're educated for. Our mindset is get out, go to work 40 hours a week, get your paycheck, then maybe go have fun, maybe go have a dinner. What would people do with an extra $48 a month? You know, that's what it's all about. It's if you had $48 a week even that you could spend any way you wanted, how fun would that be? I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how much money you need. If you had $48 and you ask somebody that, most of the time they come up with, I'd go out to dinner. You know, a lot of people want to go out to dinner or a movie, whatever. For $48, you could probably take 2 to the movie. You might be able to have popcorn. I'm not sure. But that's what it is. It is about just helping those people. And, you know, I was in Colorado, and we were out at the store in between ball games. And I just looked at this poor lady, and she just looked like she needed help so much. I just wanted to run over to her and say, would you like some of my products? because she looked like she really needed some products. Like she was tired, she got in her car, she could barely get in her car, and it was so hard, not to run over there and say, I can help you. But,
Yeah.
To make sure that you don't just throw up on everybody, too. That's
Yeah, maybe give her a pollen burst and your phone number.
yeah. But sometimes we just get too excited about it, and we do say way too much.
Mm-hmm.
I met a guy on the airplane going to California, and he was awesome. He has his own, he's an attorney, and he's a partner in this law firm in Cherry Creek, Colorado, and that's right in Denver area, and very exclusive place. And this guy, he took off 3 months with his family, made shirts with their agenda on it, their itinerary as far as where they were going, got his motor home, and just started traveling. And said, oh, you need to join me, blah, blah, blah. But we just had a great conversation. And I have his number, but I didn't contact him. He actually shared the shirts with me, a picture of the shirts with his number, but I didn't call him back and say, oh man, you should join me, you should be in this, you should do this. Someday that guy may join us.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to just blab, blab, blab.
Yeah.
Your passion. And he said, I'm so glad to see how passionate you are about what you do, and have a great time at your convention. Now, to me, that was really awesome that he was able to say that to me. What a neat guy. And who knows, someday that attorney may be in our business with us.
Yeah, could well be. If his personality sounds like you might somewhat match that anyways already. Some people, they have to be in the right, place in their life, but sounds like he has that mentality of trying to find balance in his life, taking off like that with his kids, and that's awesome.
Yes, and I figured that he had a lot of the things that we could offer him in our business, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't just push it on to him. I thought someday I'll be able to talk to him in a way that he will see what we have that he could have, and it'll be fantastic for him.
Yeah. So, you are very successful with Youngevity, as you were with Lavinity. What are some of the techniques that you use for your team connection and motivation? What are some of the things that you can tell other people about connecting their people? How do you do that? What's some insider tips?
I just think it's really good to keep in touch with your people. Like if you have leaders, we try very hard to make sure they're connected so that they know what's going on, when it's going on, and they can plug into anything that we have. We just got done with a Super Saturday in April where Scott Fardulis came back and Ben Fuchs. See, that's the other thing. We have so many doctors and pharmacists and people that we can talk to and that we can ask. If somebody has a problem, that's all we have to do. They're only a phone call away. And you don't find that in a lot of companies either.
Yeah.
So that's a big benefit that we have, that we can call those people anytime we want. And they're so gracious to come and visit with us. A brand new company we have in the business right now in Youngevity, the Stay Natural. Mm-hmm. They are from Oklahoma. Mm. And I was on the phone with the president of that company, and he was sharing with us. We have a Sunday night call every week, and so our group gets on there, and so he was a guest speaker, and he was sharing his story on how that got started and just what it is. And he offered to come to our Super Saturday in June. So he's coming to Kansas to our Super Saturday where he's going to share what his company was and what his story was and why they're in Youngevity. And how awesome is that? And I have no idea how that happened. You know, things just fit together.
Mm-hmm.
Give your team a little bit more, because a lot of our team wants to know more about the product, and they're into sponsoring people because they want that money, but they love the products. They want to know more about the products and what we have. So I try very hard to give them some of that whenever I can.
Yes,
And
absolutely. That's
we're reading.
interesting, isn't it? And I think that Youngevity attracts those kind of people that are willing to share that information. And just like Ben Fuchs, I love him. He is a registered pharmacist. He's a certified nutritionist. He's got all kinds of alphabets behind his name. And the guy is fascinating. He's one of the best speakers I've ever heard of. And he makes all this complicated stuff in the body and why these systems work the way they do very easy to understand for Joe Blow, just a layman. He's just awesome that way.
Absolutely. One of my most favorite people. And he also loved my mother.
Oh.
He, in fact, he came for the 95th birthday.
Oh.
I said, would you be able to come? And I shared with him that after our Super Saturday, we were celebrating her 95th birthday. And he said, 90 freaking 5? Are you kidding me? I wouldn't miss that for anything.
Oh. Yeah, just rub elbows and make that work.
Really get to know these people, and they become your family. They just, it's such a positive impact on your life that you just love them all from the top down. Michelle Wallach and Steve, I always get to hug them every time I see them, and their kids. And so it was really neat. And Jeremy Wallach, who is Dr. Wallach's other son, another son, was standing right at the door to the store at convention this year. And I got to meet him. I'm like, you're Dr. Wallach's son? Wow. You know, it's a family thing. They exposed more family in Ontario, California than I've ever seen them do. And I'm sure it's because they all live close by. And so that was really awesome to meet more of the family and see more of the people who are behind the scenes. How often?
Really cool. I know, like Johnny Taylor is Michelle's sister, and
Yes.
there is just a lot of connections. There's a lot of connections, and I do truly think that they have the best interest of everybody in mind all the time. They were in network marketing. They get the front line, the field thing, and they have a heart for the people that are out there, and integrity, I think, you know.
Absolutely. The integrity of these guys is amazing. Now, when there's somebody that comes into the company that may have his own business, but he's not really done a lot with it, and he came into the business, and I'm referring to a certain guy, and he came in and he said, I always kept my people away from the corporate people in a company. But he said, when I found out what these people are like, I brought my people to meet them because it's amazing. I will never keep my people away from them. I will make sure they're all going to conventions and going to these meetings and meeting these people because they need to see what a real company is with people, just like you said, that are out there in the field. They've experienced it. They know exactly what distributors need. They are amazing. It's just awesome to have that kind of leadership in a company, and so many of them that have been there and done that.
And I think it's quite rare because there's not a lot of companies that have been in business 17 years with the excitement of a startup, doing all the things that we're doing. I mean, it's just pretty incredible month after month of breaking records lately. And I mean, everything's just going through the roof. And it's very, very, it's an incredible, amazing company that is attracting more and more people like that. and it's just exploding. You can see us just going into momentum right now.
Oh, and that is a big part of it. That is so exciting, and I've never been in a company where you got to have stock options, but this company, as you go from one rank to another, you get stock options.
Isn't that fun? And look at the stock. It's starting to go up, quickly. And
We have earned 7,000 stock options
oh, yay!
that we've hit, and that's pretty exciting. Because that's a future. That's our retirement.
Yes, it
Not
is.
retire. I feel like Tom Chanel. Why would we ever retire? Because somebody else help.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be an option. I'm just going to keep doing this forever.
Well, why not? I mean, it's rewarding. You're going to share with people anyways. And I mean, the more and more people you can help, why not do that forever? There's not age limits. There's no glass ceiling. Doesn't matter what your gender is, your color, your religion, any of that. Just share. Share with everybody and spread Doc's message around. 40 years he's been doing this, and I'm so happy to see. He's so touched by how it's going. You could see at the convention last time, and it's just the most fabulous thing. And the guy is a genius. He's a genius, and you can tell, and it resonates with people. They're like, yeah, duh, that makes perfect sense, and it just works time after time. So it's all good. Well, Lany, we've been talking almost an hour already, girls. So we probably should wrap up, but time flies. So do you have any parting things you want to say, or any last tips or anything?
Yes, I want to say one thing about Dr. Wallach. He is a country boy. He grew up in the country. He loves simple, simple things.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it when you find an article that maybe he hasn't seen and you hand it to him. He is willing to take that and look at it and see if he's read it or not. And I found an article in a magazine and I handed it to him at convention. And he was just like, bring it here, bring it here.
Well, he loves learning. That's how he's gotten to where he is with his book in the Smithsonian, and he's a top bestseller. And he's just so amazing.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you one thing that I really feel in this company and where we're going with our life. The abundance part of it is we can have anything we want, and this is the company that's going to give it to us. Never before have we ever been involved in such a wonderful place in our life and with such wonderful people like a Becky Mulcahy, who is awesome, and I just love sharing time with you, and I thank you again for having me on this show with you. That was just awesome. I just love you.
Thank you, Lany. Love you too. And I'm really thrilled. I appreciate you taking the time to share with everybody and, spend some time with me. You're one of the sweetest people I've ever met. So I just wanted everybody to get to know you better, share you with more of the world. They can't get a hug in person yet, but if they join up, you can hug them.
Oh, good. Awesome.
I appreciate it very much, Lany. And thank you, everybody, for joining the show this week. And we will see you next Wednesday for another show. Remember, put your questions, comments, or anything in the chat box down below. And we will see you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.